A lot of times you'll take someone surfing and they're kind of figuring it out in the whitewash, and they say, maybe I want to catch a wave on my own. So my advice for people who are trying to get that first, like build that whitewash confidence, there's kind of a checklist for things to do to catch a perfect whitewash wave. Item 1 on the list, is the wave a good wave? Is it a whitewash? Has it broken? Is it done breaking? Is it gonna break right on you? So that kind of decision about the timing, where is the wave? If it has broken, good wave. And you can catch that whitewash, ride it all the way in. So that's step 1. Is it a good whitewash? Step 2, where is your board facing? So for a whitewash, you need to be perpendicular to the wave. If this is the wave, you need your board at an angle. If the wave is coming in at an angle, you need to be at an angle. So just perpendicular to the wave, usually facing the beach. That'll make sure that you don't tip or dig your board in when you catch the wave. So item 3 is that you're in the right spot on your board. You're not too far forward and you're not too far back. Last thing is you just need a little bit of momentum, whether that means you jump off or you take a couple paddles. So if you have a little momentum, you're in the right spot, you're facing the beach, and the wave is a good wave, you will catch that wave every time if you can check all 4 boxes. So that is some really good pointers to try to teach someone how to like go surf on their own, how to catch some whitewash waves without help, which you will encounter. People oftentimes don't want help. They want to do it on their own. So giving them the resources to kind of grow and progress in their surfing is a really, really valuable skill. So Tyus, is there anything else we forgot that we need to talk to the people about? Important things to remember when volunteering at Jimmy Miller?
Oh, well, first off, you have to remove your glasses.
Oh.
Whenever we're talking to people.
It is a really good point. If you see someone get a good wave, tell them all about it. Every last detail you can remember, tell them. Whether they're your participant or not, you're at Jimmy Miller or not, it'll make their day. You see someone get a good wave, tell them about it. Celebrate each other.
Yeah, because we're here to build a community, and there's nothing better to be seen, heard, or validated from a total stranger.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a really common saying that we have at the Jimmy Miller Memorial Foundation is we meet our athletes where they're at. And what that means is if they're not feeling excited and they don't want to go out into some crazy waves, that's okay. We're going to meet them where they're at. We're going to try to encourage them to break some fears at the same time, but also not overwhelming them. So first off, when we're getting up to the water, we're ready to go in. We're going to kind of feel the vibe, get the situation. Are they not talking a lot? Are they short of breath? Are they talking too much? Are they breathing too much? All these things we want to take into consideration, and we want to just remind them that they're in good hands, that we're going to be safe while having a good time. Once we've established the vibe and we're, are they excited or are they a little nervous, we're going to direct them where is the safest spot. Usually the safety coordinators, we're going to be directing you where the sandbars and where the channels are. But basically, you don't want to go further than chest deep. If you're about thigh to chest deep is going to be a good depth. And the reason being is because of how you're going to be able to push off of the ground to get momentum into the wave. So first off, when we're walking out to the water, a couple ways to hold our board safely. For these boards, we have a handle in the middle. If your arm's long enough, you can get it around. If not, we're gonna just carry it from the handle. We're constantly communicating with our athlete. We're letting them know what we're about to do, and also we're giving them tips and tricks so that they can use on their own time. So when we're walking it out, I'll let them know right before that wave makes contact with us, we're gonna step sideways, like on a surfboard. We're gonna have a stronger base, but our hips are gonna cut through that water instead of trying to force ourselves through the water. Once we get about thigh deep water, you're gonna go ahead and just set that board down. And it'll be about this deep. Whichever side you're on, that hand's gonna be at the tail and the other hand's gonna be at the rail. Reason being is right before that wave makes contact, you're gonna apply weight at the tail to bring the nose up and over that wave. So there's a lot of micro movements that go into it, but the general aspect is a seesaw. Wave comes in, nose up, tail up. Generally about waist deep. We're gonna tell them, all right, I'm gonna want you to get on your board from the side, not the rear, because then all of a sudden they're having to climb all the way up, and then it's not gonna work. So we want their feet towards the rear of the board, just making sure they're centered. If they're a little crooked, make sure you correct them before you get going. Clear communication, we're talking loud, and realize that whitewash is very loud, so timing on when to communicate is very important. You're gonna be helping navigate through the water, pushing them through, up and over. Once the water level is good, clear runway, no one's in front of you, you're gonna tell them, all right, we're gonna spin that board around, we're gonna spin it back into shore. If you're taller, you have a little bit more leverage, a little bit more depth. You could be in a little bit more depth of water to be able to get some forward momentum. So before that wave makes contact, we're trying to match the speed of that wave. So what I'll do, my hands are on the board like this, I'll walk forward into it while communicating to them, all right, I want you to keep looking towards the people cheering or the sand, whatever's in front of us. And I want you to stand up on the count of 3, really clear, decisive information. Once I feel, okay, that wave's about to crash into me, I'm gonna step out, getting back onto the board, stepping out. If I need more speed, I get more up on the board. If I need to slow down, I get further back. If I need to kick my feet, whatever works. I'm essentially boogie boarding with them, which is super rad to have, like, essentially to facilitate someone's first ride of their life. Super fulfilling, super exciting. You can totally ride these boards all the way to the sand, dry dock them, no problem. They're soft tops, they're gonna flex. Let's say everything's going right, but for some reason they fall off of the wave and they land in the water safely. Usually it's a good back flop or a good belly flop safely. You gotta wait for them to surface before you can cheer them on. As soon as they rise out of the water, you're giving them positive energy, like, dude, that was awesome, you know? They are gonna react to how you're reacting. If they got water coming out of their nose, they can't see because the sunscreen's in their eyes, and then all of a sudden someone's like, oh my God, are you okay? They're gonna ask themselves, oh my God, am I okay? But if you have someone doing like, dude, that was freaking awesome, let's do it again, then it changes the mindset of, that wasn't a failure, that was freaking awesome, well, let's do it again. One of the main reasons why I keep coming back to this organization is that it's given me the opportunity to pay it forward and give back to the unsung heroes of society. Some of the unsung heroes that are included in our organization are first responders, doctors, nurses, veterans. Once they pay it forward is the next generation, children coming from broken families or just traumatic backgrounds. And to me, this is just like a playground, a place to let loose and have fun and get a good workout. And to some people, this is their church, their sanctuary to essentially wash away all the chaos, all the negative energy that's associated in our lives back on land. Every time I go to one of these sessions, I meet phenomenal people, fascinating people, and get to make connections and network. Not only that, but the experience gained to be able to say that, yeah, I helped someone essentially take a step away from the ledge is just very powerful and moving in itself. I've seen lives transformed just in an afternoon of changing their chemistry, essentially, of like having support, love, and encouragement from others is just super powerful. And to do something as challenging and complicated as surfing, and it builds confidence, and you can take that into your day-to-day life walking on land. One of our mottos is healing others and ourselves one wave at a time. And it's so true, actually. Every time I go to a session, we form a circle. It's led by a clinical therapist, but they just impart such amazing wisdom and knowledge to not only the staff, but the athletes themselves. And there's just something special about that. There's a reason why I wake up early to come help out with this organization.
So a little bit about my history with the foundation. I actually started volunteering at the age of 15 with the Jimmy Miller Foundation. I had learned to surf at Camp Surf at age 12, and 3 years into that, I was recommended by a teacher at my school to go volunteer for the Jimmy Miller Foundation. At the time, I was not a very good surfer. I could surf the whitewash, but I was by no means ripping. But the foundation trusted me to kind of, I got to shadow some older instructors, and then they trusted me to start going out there with other participants with the expectation that every wave that I took someone on, they weren't gonna fall. Like, you're not allowed to nosedive or take a bad wave when you're teaching someone. And I feel like through that process of teaching with the Jimmy Miller Foundation, I learned to be a surf instructor, and then went on to work at Camp Surf for a decade, and run the camps and do all this, and it's led to my current career as a surf instructor, was that starting with the foundation. So this is something that you can start at a young age when you don't really know much. You don't even have to be good at surfing. You just have to have a good attitude and be really supportive to the people, and like, you know, hang onto that board and you're good to go. So I think it's a great opportunity for anyone who has any interest in the ocean or surfing to give back and to just experience the joy of, like, you get to relive surfing for the first time through these people. You get to like feel like that kid again, catching your first wave. When you see someone catch their first wave and their eyes light up and they're smiling and they're just like so in the zone, like, you get to live that every time you get someone a good wave. So the better you are at teaching surfing, the better you are at getting people waves, like the more times you get to relive that stoke, and like it just charges you up as well as them. And I mean, that's why we do what we do. So thank you.